like just whole existence is kind of like insulting to me.
Do you know he's not also not American, and it's weird. He's from he's from New Zealand, so his voice is bizarre.
Maybe that's also adding to the fact that he sounds like he doesn't exist. He sounds and looks like he's not a real person. He seems AI generated.
I think you're mentally ill and wrong. I don't know.
One of those things
else.
is right.
I know. You're wrong.
One of those things is correct.
No one says that about him though, and that's what's weird. Actually, that's not true. I think I might have heard that before. Let me have a look.
There's no chance that no one else holds this opinion. He's fake looking. He looks fake. God. He looks like a piece of plastic. He looks like he can't possibly exist. He looks AI generated. I thought he was a joke the first 4 times I saw him. I thought somebody was like, making like an AI generated Captain America or something like that. He doesn't look real. I'm mad that you don't.
You're getting really angry.
I'm upset that you don't agree with me. And that you allegedly have told me this multiple times.
No, I googled Andrew Starr AI, and it's just a news article of him being like, AI fucking sucks. What are we doing here? That's it.
That's good for him.
Good for him.
Yeah, it's deflection from the fact that he's not real.
He is AI. Of course the robots would say yes, death to all robots.
Oh, terrible, this AI.
Ah.
I hate it.
I am the exception. One sec, I gotta put on my Dragon Age background music. How long have you been recording? You have to start telling me when you do that.
No.
You gotta do it. Was it through this whole Andrew Starr conversation?
Yes.
You're such an asshole. Whenever you start, like, pinpricking me into annoyance, I should have alarm bells going off in my head. Because I'm like, Dylan's trying to piss me off for some reason.
Whenever you can tell that I'm digging my heels in on a conversation,
Dill, babe, you dig your heels in all the time to nonsense shit. But it's specifically when you dig your heels in to annoy me. It's when I should know that's
not. It's not intentional to annoy you. It's just a side effect. It's just that's our chemistry.
Yeah, that's our bit. I don't like our bit being me being angry at you and you being the little jester who keeps throwing darts at my head.
So then stop being so annoyed.
Well,
and get on board.
Persona.
Get on board.
Oh, I thought you said... You said, stop being bored or something like that. I was like, stop being bored. I'm never bored when I'm around you. It's impossible.
Oh, no, get on board. Just be a team player. That's all.
I'm always a team player, but this is our bit now.
Okay.
Is that I'm annoyed with you. I would love another thing if we could figure out another, like, online
persona. If only we could figure out one other bit that's not you annoyed with me.
That's it. And it's because we don't... The problem is that we're only professional friends. We've never spoken outside of a recording.
I never fucking want to see you.
So we only have one bit.
It's anytime we have to spend time with each other that's not monetized, it's like, oh God,
what are we doing here, right? I remember the first time we met, we shook hands like, this is a business decision. And then and we've continued on. Everything we do together is business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, I don't think we've ever shaken hands. I think that we have fallen asleep holding hands. So I think
I think we've shaken hands because it might be with depth. I shake hands whenever like, because I reach out to grab people at random times.
Oh, yes, me too.
And then
just to like squeeze you and make sure you're real.
A lot of the times I'll just start shaking it and say good business. And I'm pretty sure we've done that because I do it so often that Depth and Mo both do it like independently because of how often
I've never heard you say that.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. It's because we don't touch hands ever.
No, we actually don't even like each other.
This is a business friendship.
Hey, this is the opposite of Critical Role's claim that they're just friends at a table. We
despise each other.
Just friends. We are just business.
If I turned the camera, if you turned the camera like a few steps to like the left or right, you'll just see a boardroom where we sit at opposite ends of the table, recording. Everything below what we're filming is a suit. Yeah. Yep. We walk in, shake hands.
Casual from the waist up, suit on the bottom.
Business down bottom, casual up top.
God, that's sick. That's so fucking twisted. That's so evil. And I love it. Truthfully.
I have never completed a Dragon Age game.
And I, Dillin, have completed them all 100 times.
Ah, beautiful. This week, we went to Haven, and we did that whole malarkey. Is there anything you did outside of Haven, or before you did Haven? Is there anything that you specifically did?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
I was confronted by all my lovers.
Oh, shit.
They all asked me what was going on with us. It started with Liliana, which was the easy one, because Liliana's is just, she was like, hey, I noticed that Alistair and you have something special. Am I imagining that? Is that real? Is that something going on? And I was like,
and you laughed in Liliana's face. You said, that loser?
No, I said legitimately, no, we've been very close, but you're right. I will let him know that I choose you.
Just
and
like
then we boned down 10 feet away from Alistair. So he
oh my God.
He should know.
Brutal.
And then I went to go talk to Alistair. And he was like, I love you. But you seem to love Liliana. What the fuck is up with that? And there's no option in this game to be like, yeah, those things are both true. So I had to pick the gentlest option, because really a lot of the dialogue options here are rough. They're like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, do you really thought that I liked you? Like, they're really brutal. But I picked like the nicest one possible, which is like, yes, I love Liliana. And then you get your brutal like negative 13 approval from Alistair. Zevran has not made a comment. I am thinking I may. So this is double-edged sword here. I may have gotten off the hook with Zevran. Like, I may not have triggered. There's nothing in this game that ever indicates to you when you've triggered a romance quest line, which is like what makes this so tricky. So just like real life, it's a lot of so you don't know. But yeah, so you there's nothing to indicate that, but I think that the fact that he also did not bring anything up, even though he's asked, like, he's like flirted with me quite a lot. I think I might not have triggered it for him. So I might be okay, and I might get away with not having to disappoint Zevran as well. So that's basically what happened in terms of like outside of going to Haven. Other than that, I went to Haven to seek the Urn of Sacred Ashes. And Robin, I want to know what your quest was like, because I will absolutely talk about mine, but this is a who did you bring with you? That's super important.
So, I, really briefly, just before I went to Haven, I did all camp shit. I spoke to Wynn. She says that abominations can be cured, or she thinks abominations can be cured. And I thought that was really interesting.
Yes.
The pair of us talked about being a mage, and she said that the circle is proud of me. And that was weird for my character because Quentin's like, I fucking hate that place. I wish for it to burn. But I understand that you like it, so I appreciate you saying that. And it was a weird conflict. It's like, you're saying that the circle is proud of me, but also, like, I hated it there. And I hold such animosity toward it, but it's a place that is, like, you know, she's like, I'm proud of you, and fucking Irvin said he was proud, so the circle is proud of you as a whole. People are talking about how proud they are that a mage from our tower is doing this whole thing. And I was like, that's weird.
Oh,
that's a weird amount of feelings to get from that.
And you still don't know what Wynn's secret is. Am I right about that? I have
no idea. I actually spoke to her a bunch to try and get shit, so I spoke to everyone at camp because I haven't gotten a lot of the triggers for things because I'm a little soft with this game in terms of, like, I am scared of losing approval with people because I ask Morrigan casual questions and then I get negative approval. Like, it's like you can just get negative approval by talking to people and not even selecting bad options, just asking bad questions. So I'm always on tenterhooks when I'm speaking to people because I don't want it to become a whole thing. Which says more about me than it does about the game, I'll admit.
Yeah, that does say a lot. we gotta have an off.
We gotta have a talk.
off mic call.
We won't have an off mic call. We never speak outside of this.
We
don't. But no. So I haven't. But I spoke to her a lot this run. Anyway, she said the circle's proud. And then I got the trigger of her being like, "Hey, I see that you like someone a lot," and she says, like, actively says that Morrigan will betray you, not like a, this is a bad idea because of XYZ. She's like, she will betray you, and I'm telling you this right now. And then I got angry, like, Quentin got angry with that, and it's like, no, because, like, shut up. What are you talking about? It's fine.
Yeah.
She also said that it's been a year since Ostagar. She gave an actual hard time to that, and I thought that was crazy. So it's been an official year since Ostagar, which again is also still pretty crazy because Faleria's old lover has children, and that's crazy because that would have been months before. Liliana sung an awkward song.
The 15-minute long Liliana song.
Yeah,
love it so
ridiculous. Alistair has never had sex, which I thought was a fun little character thing because we talked about that. Shale did some fun. I had some fun dialogue.
Because you've never had sex, also.
No, I banged Morrigan like yesterday.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I've had sex.
Okay.
Oh, and then I also have this note saying, this fucking dog better stop barking whilst I'm trying to talk to people. I'm going to put it down. I hate this dog, dude. Every single time I speak to anyone in the camp, the dog is barking consistently throughout me trying to do shit. I hate this dog, dude.
I'm going to tell you this right now. That's legitimately just you. That's not happening to me.
It is the most infuriating thing because
I forget the dog is there unless I go talk to it.
It has been happening since the first time I went to camp. Every single NPC cutscene, that dog barks the entire way through it, and it drives me fucking insane. I hate this dog. Barkley? More like Leavely. Got him. Good bit. Anyway, I went to Haven. I brought what I call the B team, which is Zevran, Shale, and Wynn. Because I don't use
B team. Interesting.
B team.
Okay.
I don't use any of them in it. Everyone else I like switch out a little bit regularly. I went in Interesting. There's a Reverend Father here in Haven, which is a very interesting point because that's not in any Andraste stuff. The Chantry is exclusively Reverend Mothers.
Everywhere except Tevinter, it is Reverend Mothers. The women are the priests in the Church of Andraste, and so Haven is super fucking weird.
Really weird.
For having this, yeah.
The guy is crazy hostile, the guard outside, and he's like, get the fuck out. And then he's like, okay, go to the shop, get supplies for your journey, and leave immediately. And I was like, okay. Yeah. I went into the closest house to me because it was open, and I didn't realize it was a whole thing. I went in, there was a locked chest. I said, Zevran, open it. And he was like, I cannot. I left. I switched Zevran out for Liliana. He's useless to me, a useless man. So the B team instead turned into the A-B team because I brought Liliana and I swapped out Zevran because she can open up doors and Zevran can do nothing, apparently.
What did you spec him in? What did you
He has
him?
3 in lockpick. I'm like, every level I'm putting him in, doing one lockpick thing with him because I'm like, well, I will always have a rogue on my team at least.
What's his cunning?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but is it not just the skill wall? Is that not it? Is that not the only thing that matters?
And then they need to still roll on their stats, essentially.
I genuinely didn't know rolling was a thing in this game.
I mean, like it's happening behind a algorithm or whatever, but it's I
still didn't know that the number mattered past, like, I know there's like a number threshold to get certain skills and wear certain stuff. I didn't realize that
could be wrong, but I do. That's my understanding, but I could sure. Totally be off base there.
But Liliana has it super high because I juiced her in lockpicking. Anyway, went back inside the house. There's a blood altar. It's fun. Altar full of blood. Zevran does comment on that. I did have him at this time. He says that the Antivan crows do shit like this, like blood sacrifices for missions, for like blessings and shit, I believe, if I'm not misremembering. I didn't write it down, but I know that he comments on it. Walked outside, everyone in the village attacks. It's a cult. Yep. Love a cult.
A
cult. So that was super fun. I embarrassed them all because now I'm wearing giant ass armor, and when I run out of mana, I just pull out a fucking sword. I've switched the sword now to King Kaelin's sword, so now I am wielding King Kaelin's sword as I slaughter.
That's hot. Yeah, I love
it's
that.
Cool as hell, dude. I'm loving life. And then you fight through the village. The whole village is out to get you. You walk inside of houses and you find knights who are looking for the Urn of Sacred Ashes, and people kind of slaughtered and hidden behind walls and things. You fight all the way up to like a church where there's a sermon being given, and they are like, you are villains, I'm going to fight you, and you're like, okay, and you fight them, and then you find Brother Javinti? What's his fucking name?
Genetivi. Brother Genetivi, who you've been looking for since since early on in the game, when we first went to the Chantry in, I think, Lothering. Someone inside the Chantry was like, hey, the Urn of Sacred Ashes, I know a guy who's looking into that. And then we go to Redcliffe, we go to his house, and someone is claiming to be his assistant.
Yes.
And you're
like, hey, where is he?
And then he lied to you. Me, I did convince him to tell me the truth. And he revealed that he was impersonating the assistant. And he revealed it, I mean that I killed him, and that
I killed him as well.
You did?
Yeah, I
thought
killed him.
I thought that he lied to you. Okay.
He did lie to me, but then I got it out of him eventually, and then I moided him.
Okay. And then you find the assistant in the back room. Yeah. So that's Brother Genetivi there.
And Brother Genetivi is like, oh yeah, they just asked me like where I grew up, what my birthday was, if I had family, and if you have met the person in Denerim, you can kind of put together that they were trying to take his identity and just like put someone else there to be like, yeah, Brother Genetivi. Anyway, you speak to him, and he's like, yeah, these people... Because the idea at the minute is like, oh, these people are just a mad cult. And then he's like, no, these people love Andraste. They are, like, her biggest fans. And they keep talking about Andraste as if they're still alive. And they exist. And when I questioned him on that, he said, I'm not sure Andraste isn't alive. And then he goes, let's move on. And then I say out loud to my computer, no, say more about that. What do you mean you don't think Andraste's dead? That's a crazy thing for me not to question what you're fucking talking about.
Yeah.
Silly. Anyway, you help him up to the top of the mountain, and there's this old ass temple. Exceedingly old, going back to like when Andraste was alive, or like not alive but had just died, like that old of a temple. And it's all broken and destroyed and snow everywhere, and it's cool. It's cool and fun. I then accidentally clicked on Liliana, started speaking to her, and I gave her the Andraste flower that I found somewhere else.
Andraste's grace.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
And then we had a whole conversation, and I was like, ooh, I don't really know if this is the time for this, but sure.
Yeah. That's fun. Did I ever tell you that the first time that I ever played this game, in the deep roads, being attacked violently by spiders, I accidentally clicked on Alistair trying to kill the spiders, and it was in that moment that he decided to give me a rose. and it's just like blood is splattering onto his face as he's giving me the speech about like how like I'm the only good thing in his life, and like
holy shit, did you marry him that run? Because that's cool as hell.
I did. Yeah.
That's dope. Actually.
Of course I did.
I would fall for him. That's the coolest thing in the world.
We barely survived, but that was a monumental event. And I think that that's actually one of my favorite things about this game, even though it is so poorly executed. I think the idea of like dialogue happening while like the action still continues in the background
cool as hell.
Is unheard of like today in video games, and I love that.
Yeah.
Like that we were still actively losing health and actively being attacked while the conversation was going on. Brilliant.
That's so cool. Shit, I love that actually. Massive. Yeah, and then you fight through this cult who has who have like set themselves up here in this in these giant ruins. This bit was fucking hard. There was a series of optional mini bosses who really wiped the fuck out of me. The first couple of times I tried it. I actually have a note saying, Jesus Christ, the Overseer is tough. Because as you're going through this, because you think naturally with how the rest of the game is, you're like, oh, these people are blood mages, but then the more mages you fight, they're not using any blood magic. They're just kind of
they're using their magic really aggressively in this church, yeah.
And it's not blood magic at all. It's like it's just regular magic. As far as I could tell, that they weren't using any blood magic.
Mm-hmm.
But you also find wyverns and like little dragonlings running around alongside them.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this is a fucking dragon cult. That's way cooler than a blood magic cult. I wish I could be a dragon mage, because that's the coolest shit in the world. I don't know what would happen with that. I don't know how that would work, but can you imagine how fun?
I do. I actually have thoughts about that, but that's for another time. Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, delicious. Love that. Yeah. How did you find this section? I've spoken for far too long.
So I brought Liliana, Wynn, Alistair.
Mm-hmm.
Which has, I think, become my A team.
Okay.
Even though, like, there's like the origin team of Morrigan, Alistair, Liliana.
Yeah.
Wynn, it is like my main mage, though.
Yeah. And she's like the healer, so
yeah.
Yeah.
But I knew that I wanted Liliana here because of the significance of Andraste. And then I knew that I wanted like the people that I've been traveling with the longest for this, because I know what like the significance of this is. And so going in, we actually didn't go into any homes. We went straight into the shop and went into like the general store, and then went into a back room, and the guy was like, don't go fucking back there. And we were like, but we want to go back there. And then we killed him, and then we walked outside and everybody in town tried to kill us, and then we went and robbed his chest. And then we went to the chantry. We made quick work of everyone. Liliana was like pissed and was like, this is sacrilege. Everything that you're saying is sacrilege. Everything you're saying is factually incorrect. Andraste is not alive. And trying to purport that is bad and evil. And so we go again, like you said, through this enormous tunnel system. This chantry goes like pretty deep.
Yeah, it like breaks. You go into the caverns, and then you come back. You go back into another like part of the temple. It's huge. It's a massive ruin. Yeah. So many drakes and dragonlings that I think drakes are difficult, dude. Hard.
I know. But I think, and I haven't gone back yet actually to Denerim. I will in our next
I've done that. You talking about the guy who builds the armor?
Yeah, I'm assuming you have enough after this.
I did actually after this. Because I found him originally, I forgot that he existed. But then I killed the first Drake, and I picked up Drake's Scale, and it was like quest update.
Yeah, there's a lot picked up in this system. So that I'll do that as well. After this, but so you fight your way through all of this. It's so, the fights in this are so hard in like a very satisfying way. I felt anyway.
This I now do have a favorite fight in this game, and it's one that will come later. But the Overseer is definitely one of them, because it's a guy who's a mage. He's just called the Overseer. He casts Arcane Shield, like a spell ward on him, so no spells do any damage to him, which sucks for me. So then I pulled out my sword and I beat him to death.
Well, talk to me about who the Overseer is.
I don't know. He's just a guy. I walked in and he started attacking me.
He's not.
You think...
No,
you're
he's
thinking
a different guy.
This
He's
is an optional dude.
Okay.
He like You go in, you see him, he has 4 guards, and then he summons, like, 10 dragonlings and 4 drakes, and it's so hard. And then
I
got him
weak,
about. And he put his staff away, and then pulled out a sword, and I was like, oh shit, me and you are both fucking arcane warriors. And then we Duel of the Fates like, started ragging on each other. And it was so sick. I died to this guy like 3 or 4 times. Like, he was super hard because...
Oh my god.
Because this was B team, none of my tactics were set up. I didn't really know. Because the guy was like, oh, go to the store, I had no potions or anything. So I was like, oh yeah, sure. I went to this one building, and then I could no longer go into the store because they all turned against me. So I couldn't buy anything. So my resources were so spent on this. Mm-hmm. I accidentally did the thing again where I had the stupid more than symbol on Wynn's tactic. So Wynn drunk every single mana potion in existence. That old crone can die by my hand. I got so angry with her. But I was angry with myself because I set it.
Thirsty.
And it's because her ragged old voice.
Yeah.
It needs lubrication all the time.
Ancient
vocal
pathetic,
cords. Disgusting voice.
Need lubrication.
I spoke to her a few times in this dungeon. I think I got more out of her, but I didn't get any backstory shit. I tried, but again, she didn't really say much. But yeah, I fought the Overseer, and then the Overseer drops a cool sword that is specifically an Arcane Warrior sword because it ups spell power if you're wielding the sword, and I was like, oh, that's sick. So I equipped that. I unequipped King Kaelin's sword. I used it for a bit, and then thematically I was like, I'm going to go back. So then I went back to King Kaelin's sword because it's thematically way cooler. And then you meet a guy whose name is Colgrim.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And is he the leader of this little unit? Or is he just one of the people here? Because he's
the leader, I think.
He's the leader. He's the revered father. Because he's just dressed in armor. So I was like, I didn't know if he was just a guy.
He's not the revered father. He's the leader of this, like, hold on. I want to make sure I'm...
That's right.
Right.
Whilst you look that up. He stops you rather than immediately attacking, and then gives you the fun moral choice. Now, this part of the game, I did a few times where I saved and then I loaded in and I did different options because I thought it was fun. So the first time I just fought him, I was like, no, this is fucking ridiculous. But I also, I didn't mean to fight him. I was, pushing him really hard, and I was hoping he would push me back a bit, and then I'd be like, okay, then let's, think about this and have a moral decision. But I accidentally just went to the fight option, so then we ended up fighting. I killed him. His fight was also a little bit difficult. I was, my resources were drained at this point. Killed him. He has a horn on him that I think is really cool. Which if you use the horn on the mountaintop, actually, you go outside. And then, because he's the thing that he asks, to go back 2 steps, I know I jumped ahead too far.
No,
the thing that he asks is, the Urn of Sacred Ashes is beyond this clearing, beyond this mountain pass.
Yeah.
But we can't go in it for some reason. I think he doesn't think that he would be able to, but he's looking at us and he's like, you're pretty beefy buff. I bet you'd be able to do this. They
tell you explicitly that they cannot get through the gauntlet. They cannot get through.
Sure.
There is a security system in place to protect the Urn of Sacred Ashes. And they tell you that they cannot get past it. And they are hoping that we will be virtuous enough to do this on their behalf. What do you... Because there's a couple of different wildly oscillating options. What do you
So
do
he
here?
asks you specifically to go there. You can take some of the ash to heal Aemon, the Arl from Redcliffe.
Mm-hmm.
But then he wants you to put a vial of dragon's blood into the ashes, which will destroy the ashes. But he believes that it will restore Andraste to her true form.
Yep.
And who she is, because she's not ready yet. Originally, I said, no, don't be ridiculous, and then I killed him. But then I reloaded the game, and I said, yes, okay, I will do that then.
Interesting. Okay.
And then I went outside. You are immediately faced with a giant, full dragon.
Yeah. Huge.
Who, if he is dead, you see and hide from. But if he is alive, he pleads with and says, that is Andraste. Look at her beautiful form. She has returned. She just doesn't have like any of her memories and all this jazz. As soon as you put that dragon's blood into the Urn of Sacred Ashes, then she will be reborn. And
I killed him immediately. So when I walked outside, that dragon roared at me and then went to sleep. And we were like, oh, okay.
Yeah, which is weird. And that is, it's a genuine little criticism I have. Is like, originally I was like, oh, this dragon, oh, let's just walk past. But then when I reloaded it, he has a whole confrontation with it. Like, the dragon is really pissed and is like, no, you can't, like, pass and all this. And then he, like, pleads with it and then it leaves. And it's like, I would have liked a little confrontation if he's dead. Like, the same thing happens, but he's not there to ease the dragon's, like,
I think
ire.
I think that's his delusion. He thinks he has a connection to this dragon,
but he
fucking doesn't. He
That's
is
true,
the
actually.
antagonist. He is like he's disrupting this dragon's life.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, that's actually a more interesting read. Yeah, that's have that be a feature, not a bug.
Yeah.
So yeah, I walked through with him, and he pleaded with this dragon. We went into the gauntlet, and then you had a really cool little bit. You meet this ghost of one of the original knights who brought Andraste's ashes here, and everyone else has left, either died or left, and his soul is trapped here and has been here for centuries and is trying to make sure that Andraste's ashes are fine. And then he asks each of your party a question. Now, here is where I'm upset that I had B team, because none of them were interesting, except for Liliana, who's my A team. Wynn's was just kind of boring. It was just talking about the circle tower and stuff and, like, some form of belief, and she kind of, like, shrugs it off. Sten has nothing. He's like, you hold so many questions in you, Gollum, and then kind of just stops the questioning there, and it's just not that. It's just I wish I had, like, Alistair and Morrigan with me so I could get, reason. It's the same with the Fade. You know how the Fade has, like, this really interesting thing for everyone, but then some people's are more interesting than others. I have the same here.
Oh, I like wins. I'm surprised that you didn't like wins, but I like wins.
I will admit that I did this bit a little late at night, so I tuned slightly out of wins, but I was like trying to pay attention, and I was like, yeah, it's just general stuff about.
But you know what? What is yours? Because you have a question to you from the Guardian.
I do. I actually forget what it is. It's something about being a mage. I know that
they ask about your backstory and, like, what your they usually ask about your backstory, I think, in each one.
Yeah. What was yours?
Whilst
I Google a remembrance of what this is.
Yeah. Hold on, let's both.
Let's both just re-Google what I think.
Let's both do
it. Oh, here we go. Oh, because it was about Joan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he asks if I feel bad betraying him, and I Oh, no, if I felt things could have gone differently, and I say yes, and I was sad about that, because I think that I felt like he threw blood like the fact that he can do blood magic at me, and if I had more prep time, we could have done this, figured it out together. But yeah, I specifically was like, I didn't betray him at all, and it feels yeah, it's like and he's like, oh, do you think that you have done enough to help him and all this? And I'm like, I hope so, because everything I've been doing so far has been in essentially his name. Like,
yeah,
he was the first guy who did blood magic stuff. I became a blood mage. I met him in Redcliffe, and I got him out, and I tried to plead, and I worked with him to kind of clear his name in a sense. And now I'm here. Still, I've done all of this shit so that he doesn't get executed. It's like I've done so much shit essentially in my old friend's name. So they're like, do you think you've done enough to help? I'm like, I fucking hope so. I've been around the ringer, mate. I've had my ass handed to me several times in an effort to make the fact that he is a blood mage not seem that bad.
Damn.
Which I liked. I thought was fun.
I do like
Liliana
that.
gets dragged in this scene.
Yeah, she does.
It's like he just keeps going in on her constantly. I think it's really fun. What was yours? What did you get asked?
So they ask me, I forget what the question is exactly, but they basically insinuate and ask that I made the wrong choice in supporting my brother, Balin.
Oh.
And the question is sort of like, you didn't realize you didn't trust your brother, who I forget what his fucking name is, the one that is kind of a jerk in the beginning. What is it?
Trian, isn't it?
Trian, you're right. You didn't trust Trian, and Balin killed him. And I was like, the expedition really didn't give me any reason to trust Trian. So I feel like I'm justified. But I did lean into it a little bit, and I was like, you know what? I should have been more discerning. I should have expected that Balin was after something. Sure. And then when you walk in to the gauntlet,
then he lets you go into the gauntlet fully. Yeah.
And then the first person you encounter is someone from your backstory. And so I encountered Trian.
Oh.
And I think it's so interesting because the Trian that you meet in the gauntlet seems totally different. And to me, I think that that's like an interesting, I am not sure that it's intended necessarily, but it does seem intentional. So I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt in this, that the intent is that the Trian that I meet in the gauntlet is like I, like kind of like I was looking out for you. Like I was annoyed, like portraying that like the annoyance that he had was all about Balin and like his pursuit of the crown. And that we actually had a good relationship, just that he, and I kind of love that. Like, I know that it's a little bit of like a railroading of like what your character's experience is. But I love the idea that like in the beginning, it seems so obvious that Trian is being such a dick.
Yeah.
And Balin is being so passive. But like, coming across this later in the game and meeting like the spirit of Trian, you're just sort of like confronted with the idea that maybe Trian and you were actually close, and Balin just
kind of twisted
having to be
it.
quieter and seem more like peaceful or whatever, but like nothing, like that you just made the wrong choice. And I found that really fun. What was yours?
That is interesting. Well, mine was Jowan again. Yeah, I come across him and he we just kind of shot the shit a little bit. We just kind of talked. I can't really remember much about it, but yeah, it was him and we, I think he was talking about like, oh, do you, regret, this whole blood mage thing, and we talked about that, and he was like, are you gonna help? And I was like, yes, buddy, I'm gonna help. And because to me, he's still alive in my world, so I met him, and then I immediately started being belligerent because I was like, well, you're not. Stop trying to trick me, ghosts. Get out. Like, I know that you're not real. Stop. And then I was belligerent for a bit as he was asking me questions, and then he was like, very well, and then disappeared. And I was like, I'll speak to the real Zhao and get out of here.
That's fun. I like that.
And then you do some riddles. You meet 8 different people, all of whom have significance to Andraste's life. They ask you a riddle. I got 2 of these wrong, but the rest of these I got right.
Ooh, do you remember which ones you got wrong? Not that it's super important.
Oh gosh, not really. I got the second one wrong, and I got the 6th one, I think, of the 8, because I was bouncing around the room. I got most of them right, but yeah.
So you meet all the people that are like significant to Andraste's life. This is almost like if you got to meet like all of the characters who wrote books in the New Testament, right? Like you get to meet all of these casts of characters, and some of them we've heard of before in different scenarios. In particular, so okay, actually, I wanna actually have this. I've
got the list here.
You got it?
Yeah. Yeah, so you meet
Test of Faith, there it is. Okay.
Yeah. You meet Bronner, who is doodle-doodle-doo, one of Andraste's original disciples.
Yep.
There's so much lore to these 8 people that have like 2 lines, because they are like so integrated into the canon and lore of Ferelden. It's wild to me.
Yeah, they're so into it.
Yeah, which is crazy. Yeah, you meet Bronner, you meet Ailsley, Thane, Shartan,
That's
Lady
Shartan. That was the one I was fishing for here, because we've heard about Shartan previously. Shartan is the elf who
I think I got him wrong.
Yeah.
I think I got him wrong.
Shartan is the elf that we've heard about, who was the leader of the liberator of enslaved elves, and joined Andraste's exalted march, like to fight back against the Imperium, who originally are the ones who drove the elves out of their homes and enslaved them. So Andraste,
it's crazy.
Though she is a human, like, goddess, a human god, and not someone the elves follow, she has history with them, allegedly. Yeah.
It's crazy to me how much the Tevinter Imperium are brought up, mentioned, and discussed in such reverence and importance to this world. And so far, I haven't met a single Tevinter person.
And
it's
you
like
not.
all, and that's crazy. It's like
not in this game anyway.
You're not in this game, yeah. But it's like, it's so fun how often they come up. like, it's constantly talked about, and they're constantly mentioned as this, like, awful place, and all of this, like, oh yeah, there's so much shit going on over there, and they came over here, and these people are connected to the Devinters, and this person came from Devinter, and all this stuff. But this whole journey, you're like, I got bigger fish to fry right now. I got other shit I need to deal with. I'm not even going to touch anyone from Devinter right now. They're not the villains. They're nothing. They're just an evil in the world. Not even an evil. They're just an evil
empire that.
No, it's crazy. It's truly fascinating how much they're brought up. And then, after you answer all of their little riddles, you fight yourselves, but shadow copied.
Oh wait, I want to talk about one more because I don't want to go into every single person that you meet in the in the gauntlet puzzle here. But Hessarian,
is he the traitor
of the Tevinter Imperium? In the Exalted March, like in the revolt against Andraste. So the Tevinter Imperium is objectively has had a war with Andraste and her followers since she was living and a living creature on Earth. But the thing that's interesting about Hessarian, and I want to point it out because it comes up specifically in later games, Hessarian showed Andraste mercy. And was supposed to execute her, I believe, and then changed his mind and canceled it, and is integrated into the Chant of Light because of that.
Oh wow! I thought that he ordered her.
No, that's betrayed her and was like,
okay,
her husband.
Yes,
is the one who betrayed her. Yes.
Which is crazy. Your husband, dude.
Yeah, that's
insane.
Awful.
That's crazy. Well, then his wife became Jesus, and this guy is a spirit in a fucking temple.
Yeah, you can't go anywhere without running into her.
Literally, what a mess. Imagine trying to hook up with someone at a bar, and it's like, have you ever been married? Yeah, once to Jesus, and I betrayed them, and it's like, all right, Jesus Lord. Yeah.
Awful.
It was great. It was a fun little thing. I will admit, I didn't have a lot of context for all of the people, so I began to tune them out a little bit because they were mentioning a lot of things that I didn't have context for. So I was like,
well, they're giving you the context. What's happening.
Yeah, but it's like all of the context was given to the point where it was like, my next go of this game, when we've like done all of them and I go back into Origins, I'm gonna be like, oh, because of that, and this person was mentioned here, and then this person's here and relevant here. Like, some figures are important, and some figures are like, you know, like the husband who betrayed them is like, oh, that's crazy. But then others are an interesting thing to find now, but then on a replay will be more interesting because you're going to be hearing them come up.
That's so interesting. In different places. I feel like it'll be interesting if you encounter them now and then like are gonna encounter their stories later in like and get more detail about their stories later.
Yeah, no. Which that is normally how I've found I interact with a lot of lore in things. It's like I get the big lore dump and I'm like, okay, I'm going to try and pay attention, but I won't latch onto anything. I'll latch onto a tiny bit and then I'll experience the world more. And then when I go back, I'm like, and then I'm more invested in the whole thing.
Okay.
And I'm more interested in it. I've just rewatched the Matrix trilogy, and that happened so much to me.
So much, yeah.
Rewatching it,
yeah.
And I was like, "Oh shit! Wow, this actually rules, and all of it makes sense because I have context as to why this is important. Not the people aren't telling me why this is important. I now know why, and then I'm going back, and then you're telling me context a bit. But you do that. You fight ghost versions of yourself and your party, which is fun."
That is
kicked
fun.
My ass a little bit.
It does. It's a rough one.
It's a tough little fight. And then, after you do that, there's a puzzle that I have in all caps. Hard puzzle.
Hard puzzle.
Because it is difficult. It is...
The bridge puzzle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bridge puzzle. It's...
Yeah.
So, there are 12 buttons to step on that make this, like magic bridge form.
Yeah.
But you need... Okay, it's hard for people who have absolutely no context in it. It's like the first time you like half summon a bridge, and then the second time you like activate a button that is about the same section of the bridge. It is solid and you can step on it. 3 members of your party have to step on these buttons to like form the bridge, and then the last member of the party has to walk across it. But it's like, okay, so I'm gonna make the first 2 pieces of the bridge appear, and then the one person walks along it, and then I'm going to cancel the first section of the bridge, and then move over to the third section of the bridge to make that light up and activate, so then you can step onto the third piece, and then I'm going to break off, and then the second part of the bridge is going to fall, and then the fourth bit is going to come up. It took me fucking ages to figure this out.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to... There's not much of a signal as to what parts of the bridge... There is a signal, but there's not much of a signal to what part of the bridge you're lighting up.
Yeah.
And what part of the bridge is solid now, because it's like, I'd step on a bit and I'm like, oh, fuck, is this the part of the... Am I adding to an already completed bridge, or is it just this one part of the bridge that's later that I'm adding on to?
You have to always be looking in when you're trying to solve this puzzle. You have to be looking in as you move.
Yeah,
you have to be like sidewalking your character so that you're looking in as you step on the pieces. Yeah,
it's difficult. It's good. I liked it.
It's a fun puzzle.
It's a fun, interesting puzzle, but it gets a little frustrating. It got a little frustrating with how opaque it is, in a sense. There's like, I feel like a tiny bit more tuning just to make it like more obvious what buttons you were stood on.
We're doing what was happening. Yeah. This is one where when I was playing it, I was thinking, this probably is more fun than it is to me now, because I just have this puzzle memorized. This puzzle, especially because of how challenging the puzzle is. It was one of those things that, like, when I learned how to do it, when I figured it out finally, like, the first time, it, like, became a thing that, like, and I'm never doing that again. So let's fucking memorize what is happening here. It's left 3, left 6, right 2, left 3, right 4, right 2, left 1, left 6, right 5, right 4, left 5.
Holy shit.
That's
insane that you know that. Because at first I thought you were just joking around and saying stuff, but then about the third left blank, I was like, oh my god, he knows it. It
is just like a switch. It's you have to keep switching them off.
Yeah.
From one side to the other.
Yeah.
And so it's not as, I didn't have fun doing that part of the puzzle, but I was thinking to myself, like, oh, this is only not fun to me because I've just I kind of wish I didn't.
It does dip into not being fun after, like, I got to a bit where I was just getting frustrated with the puzzle.
It's a bad one.
Yeah,
but it is.
But I think the because is this now? We can't count the Shale puzzle because that's technically DLC. Is this the first puzzle in the game? The real, like, you have to do this. Is this the only puzzle that you 100% have to do? You don't have a choice in it? Because I can't think of any others.
Is it the only one I don't. Is the only one I'm not answering, but is it the only one that we've come across so far that's not a DLC, that's not optional? I think so. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Because everything else is optional. Except you could... Actually, you know what? I'm going to stop talking about this because I know we have a question later asking us about the puzzles in the game. And I don't want to answer it prematurely. I'm going to extend me being able to talk to you about Dragon Age for as long as physically possible.
Good, let's do it.
And then there's a line of fire, like a giant wall of fire, and it asks you to get all naked.
Yeah.
Very saucy of it. I did so. For some reason, when I said yes and I got all naked, Dog appeared. Not as, didn't speak to me. Dog was just looking at me through the fire as I crossed over it. I couldn't interact with them. As I crossed over, and then I got all my stuff back and Dog was gone. Thought that was really weird. Clearly a little visual glitch.
That's a glitch for sure, because that did not happen
Dog
to me.
is cursed in my game. Barkley is a bit of
Barkley actually did die that day back in Ostagar. And
I'm having Barkley a bit of a fucking what's the Minecraft thing?
Oh, that's not what I thought you were gonna say.
One sec. It's can't remember. It's like it's an old creepypasta of it's the guy who made Minecraft's brother is dead and haunting the game, and you can see him off in the distance on foggy days in Minecraft, and there's a bunch of visuals to it, and it's stupid, but it's that where the dog has died and possessed my game specifically. Then you get to the Urn of Sacred Ashes.
Yes.
This is when I saved, because I knew that I had to test something out.
Oh, yeah.
This cult cannot be trusted at all.
For sure.
People having the ability to heal any injury and also do weird shit also can't be trusted. So,
interesting.
I took some ashes.
Yeah.
Then I put the dragon blood in it to destroy it. Because I was like, you know what? Maybe it is Andraste. Liliana Wynn lost their fucking mind, immediately tried to kill me. I couldn't say anything. They both drew their weapons. I killed them both. I then killed the Guardian, and then I was like, right, okay. This isn't a fun, morally questionable, it's kind of testing your limits choice. This is if you're doing an evil run, you do this choice. So I was like, okay. And then I reloaded the game.
Interesting. I think that is morally gray, for sure.
It's morally... I mean, I think, yes, it's morally gray, but if I'm having to kill 2 party members to do it, it's then morally bad. It's it's a thing that is not positive at all.
Sure.
So I was like, okay, fine, I'll just reload. Even though I was pretty sure this whole time I was going to destroy it. I kind of knew what we were doing. And this didn't take me very long. There's a choice slightly later that spat everywhere. There's a choice slightly later that took me way longer. Literally, I'll talk about it when we get to it. I wanted to destroy them. I fully wanted to take the ash for I'll aim it and be like, gang, this is bad fucking news. There is an urn here, which we didn't have that much trouble. You okay? Whoa.
Okay. Everything is fine. Everything is good. It's just that, I don't know what or why, but like 3 seconds of, not even 3 seconds, that's wrong. Like 1 second of a song just blasted into my ears for no reason. Out of nowhere, Spotify is closed. There's no fucking applications open. I don't even know what song it was, but it was what?
YouTube?
Nothing. There's no YouTube tab open whatsoever.
Oh my God.
That
Jesus
scared
Christ.
the shit out of me.
You scared me. Your face scared me so bad that I was like, I was now hearing stuff in my house where I know I'm alone. You scared me so fucking bad.
I got scared.
I know. I saw it. I didn't like it. What was the song?
I don't know. It was just like, it like sounded like one guitar chord, like is what it sounded like. Like
that sucks. Don't like that.
No, I hate it.
Evil. Is it stopped? It stopped and it's done?
It stopped. It never came back. It was just that one.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
That scared the shit out of me, dude. We had two very different horror genres going on because you got jump scared and I got a psychological horror happen to me where I was watching my best friend react really poorly to something that I couldn't help with.
Isn't there? Yeah.
Bad. Hated that. Don't ever jump like that again. Take that part of your soul away, please. That made you scared. I didn't like that. Awful.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, Robin, when the evil comes for me? Aren't you gonna protect me?
Let's not even. I'm home alone for the next 4 days. Let's not do this. I don't have a dog to protect me. I have a lizard, a tiny bearded.
Old and human.
Yeah, but people are gonna see your 80-year-old dog and be like, yeah. Also, you're in New York. You're in New York where people are safe. I'm in Toronto. Here.
Notorious place, free of crime.
Free of crime. Rats own that city.
Own this city. That's it. Everything's fine here. Give me 2 seconds.
You go.
One
do
sec.
that.
1 sec.
You go.
I do see that my backup laptop is like just getting battery. I keep the good vibes of having a backup recording going. Okay.
Still a little jittery for the audience.
Okay, everything's good.
All right. So people know when to. So you know when to edit to.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah. So what did you do? What was? I mean, I can imagine what you did.
So I went through the fire, obviously, and then went up to the urn, got my pouch for the Arl, and chose not to disturb it, leave the ashes there. But that's not like the final decision on what happens to the urn. Because then when you leave through the gauntlet, they're like, you know, a Skyrim-like second door opens up where they're like, you can go out this way, actually. It's much quicker. And I love that so much. In doing that, you meet Brother Genitivi, who it has been like researching the runes out here the entire time. And then he is like, well, we got to tell everybody about the ashes. They could be used for so much.
Yeah.
That is what I'm interested in your second run where you didn't destroy the ashes.
So this decision took me... So I left. I then had to fight the guys who got me in originally, who gave me the dragon blood, because all of that shit.
Yeah, I killed them right off the bat.
I then
the first time.
Summoned the dragon, fought and killed the dragon then after, in what became my favorite fight of this game so far, because that fight is fucking difficult. That is a tough fight.
That dragon fight is hard as fuck.
I was fully like, I turned everyone's tactics off, and I was just pausing. Clicking order and making sure everyone was doing the things I needed, playing for like 2 seconds, pausing again, making sure everyone was doing stuff. I had a blast. And it's infuriating beyond belief to me that the one time I truly engage with this game's mechanics, I have a fucking blast. But I just can't do that every time for my own mental health, because it's going to take me a
But I
million years.
also think that like that is, if you were if we're not playing on story mode or casual mode or whatever it's called in this game, I felt like when I played this game the first time, I had to do that to survive anything.
Yeah,
like, not
the
just
first
the dragon
time
fight.
I did it on normal, I did that every time.
Like for every fight. But to get through it for this purpose, to turn it off.
And because it's like, the combat doesn't... I'm not good at that style of combat, and we have like a quota of this game that we need to play every week, and it's like, I'm not gonna like, this is every single one of these I'm gonna put to easy difficulty. I'm not playing with this game in that way. But this time I engaged with it. I had a fucking blast. I was with B team or AB team because Liliana was there, and they absolutely just wrecked it. It was great. I kind of know how Shale works now, but not really. I used Quake a lot. I love that move.
Oh, I love Quake.
Huge. Liliana is this outstanding archer. I was the Vanguard tank now because I'm this arcane warrior, and I was there beating people's ass. I now have the thing where I now have tactics with how I play, where I because I have summon dead, like summon undead. If I've killed someone, I can like bring them back from the dead and have a little zombie minion. But that means that I have a huge section of my mana that's constantly on reserve and being used. So my spells run out immediately in battle, but that's fine, because then I pull out a sword and I fight until my mana is fully restored, and then I switch back over to mage, and then I fight with magic, and it's cool and it's fun. Love it. Anyway, fought the dragon, got dragon scale, took every single item that dragon has, which is a fucking huge amount. And then I went and I spoke to him. Now, this took me fucking ages to figure out, because Liliana wanted it to be kept safe. Liliana wanted the Chantry to know about it. Quinton hates the Chantry.
Yeah.
Brutal and awful. Why? Like, they treated me so bad for so many years.
Yeah.
And there is not an option, because the options are... There's a third one which I can't quite remember, but there is ask him... Oh, no, that's it. It's say, yeah, this is a really good idea. Please make sure no one uses this for evil. Kill him. Are the three options. And I really wanted so bad for there to be a, can you not tell anyone that this is here, please? Please, for me, can you not tell anyone that this is here? This is a bad move. Like, you can't convince him otherwise. And I sat for what ended up being about 40 minutes, just mulling over, like, this is such a bad idea. It's such a bad idea to tell anyone that this is here.
Yeah.
This is not having him know and being like, okay, we, as this circle of people, we know that this is here. if there is the most pressing issue, we can come together and figure it out and then bring someone here. And that's the only time it can be used. Not give the Chantry the knowledge and ability to be here. That's dog shit. That's so bad. And it's going to go so wrong immediately.
Yeah.
Quentin thought that. I, Robin, knew that as the player. I knew that I know for a fact I'm going to come back and then people are going to be here and it's going to be fucked over and used for evil. Because if the Chantry know, that's going to slip out. Someone else is going to know. All of Ferelden suddenly knows that that there is an urn of Andraste's ashes. Then Tevinter ends up knowing. And the whole thing is bad. So I mulled over for a really long time because I was like, I don't want to kill this guy because he just wants to do a good thing.
Yeah.
He just wants to help. He wants to have this thing that he believes in and have a cure-all for and this cure-all is a exceedingly finite resource. Holy shit, it's finite. It's literally a cup of things. It's like we are using a decent amount to get one guy up. And it's like, this can be used to heal, 4 people? Do you think the Chantry are just going to give it to poor people who need it? No, they're going to give it to the highest elite of people. People who pay, like, loads of money or, like, the Pope. This is a dog shit idea.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't kill him. I really thought about it. I I held this guy's life in my fucking hands and I mulled it over for ages. Like he was so malleable to me, but I just couldn't do it. So I just ended with please don't tell people. And then he walked away and I knew that he was gonna. And he was like, meet me in Denerim. And it's like I might go to Denerim and kill you, dude. I might. Me and Zevran might have a little nighttime excursion where we break into your house and murder you because you know where this is and you could tell the Chantry, but the Chantry doesn't know where this is. I couldn't do it. And he walked away and because I was like, maybe if I click this option and I tell him, please think about this, he is gonna I'm going to have another option at the other end where it's like I'm going to be able to persuade him or like intimidate him into doing it because I'm like I will threaten this guy. But I click it and then he immediately said I'm going to go tell the Chantry immediately and I was like it's too fucking late. To the point where as the dialogue of him saying I'm going to go tell the Chantry was happening, I was like if you don't like cutscene ass disappear in front of me right now, I'm going to kill you. Like, I'm going to blow you up immediately. And it doesn't. Yeah. It teleports you right down to the bottom of the mountain. I was like, fuck. And I thought about reloading. You had
with you everyone who cares about this, too.
Yeah.
Because you had Liliana, you had
Wynn.
And Shale.
I had Shale. She doesn't give a fuck.
She doesn't care. But Alistair, Wynn, and Liliana care a lot about that.
Yeah, and Liliana was like, oh yeah, it's going to be so great. Everyone can know about it. I think Wynn might say, like, I actually don't think it's a great idea. Yeah. But I couldn't convince the guy. And it was heartbreaking for me because I was looking at a guy and it's like, I'm going to have to kill you. Either let this happen and I know it's a bad idea, or I fucking kill you. And I'm like, you know what?
You let it happen.
This is a finite resource. Like, something good must happen. Like, someone is going to be helped with this, and you don't get to die. Like, otherwise, I would let I would let the Urn of Sacred Ashes rot here for eternity. And I also don't think that's a good idea. Found by who? Some random person is going to come and find it. This cult couldn't get in, but that doesn't mean that the next cult isn't going to be able to get in.
Right.
And then it's like, at some point, someone's going to get so strong that it's just going to... And it's like, this was a decision... This is different to the Brazilian Forest. I don't think that this is as interesting as a conversation.
No, I agree. It's not.
But... yeah. It is close to where it's like ramifications of shit happening. I think the ramifications of this are greater than the ramifications of the werewolf group. I mean, obviously, it's a fucking. It's literally Jesus' ashes.
This is Jesus' ashes. This is like multiple religions across Thedas. Like there's also something to this where like you as an elf, me as a dwarf playing. You are allowed. We haven't talked about this. You as a non-human are given the option several times to state in some way that you believe in Andraste as a god figure. So you are allowed to differentiate that you maybe don't adhere to your like typical religion.
Yeah.
Which like the elves have a kind of pantheon and the dwarves have the stone. Those are like our people's religion. But throughout the game up until this point, you've been given like several opportunities for you to say you don't believe in the stone or you don't believe in the elven gods, you believe in Andraste. I have been very much like a child of the stone. I am not a believer in Andraste. I've made that very clear. But now, like, I've met a spiritual guardian and all of Andraste's ghost friends. Like, it's becoming very much like if you don't believe in it after this, you're being willfully
it changes from
defiant.
It changes from do you believe to do you follow, because it's like you have no choice but to believe. It's literally right there in front of you.
So now, okay, for sure, this is real, and these are her goddamn actual ashes. There's some dialogue where you do get to like talk to Liliana about how like how disappointing it is that they're worshiping the ashes of like a dead disciple and not God anymore. And I thought that was interesting, and she really agrees with that. But I reluctantly said, yeah, people should be able to visit this. And I think that what it was for me was God's fucking real. Like, or your God's real. Yeah. You might as well come and visit him. We go to see our gods all the time because they live in the deep roads. And they're part of the stone. But like your gods are real. You gotta let those people come and see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you let him go.
Yeah.
It was just difficult. It's because Quentin from the start has been very like I this is also something that I believe with fantasy gods. In fantasy worlds, it's you know, it's what I said. It's never a question of do you believe in this god? It's do you follow them? Because there's no faith involved. It's like, well, there's proof, like 100%. Like there's no doubt that this god exists. So I've had that with Quentin from the start. But Quentin's like, well, yes, I understand that Andraste is real and was real and like all this stuff, but I don't respect them as a thing, as a person. But then, through this, I was like, through just playing the game and kind of understanding a little more, it's like, I guess I do get it. And, like, I understand her, and it's like, I understand the whole, that she was genuinely good.
Yeah.
Not just, like, has been perceived as good. But yeah, it's like, I could see, but I'm still very against the Chantry. She's correct.
Yeah.
The Chantry is bad. Because the Chantry made Templars happen, which I understand why Templars exist, because I am hell incarnate, so obviously you're going to try to hold people like myself who want you dead into into things. I used a lot of blood magic this run. Oh, my whole journey through this, so much blood magic was used. I love that stuff.
Love that.
It's really very strong. I think it's great. But yeah, it was rough. I to the point where it's like I would reload and kill him, but whatever happens. I think it's a moment that's like hardening Quinn in a way that's like,
if you're gonna kill him, I think the move is also going back enough to destroy the urn.
Destroy it. Well, that's it. Yeah, and
I think
can you destroy the urn and not give it to the dragon cult as well?
Yeah,
you can. I didn't see that option, else I probably would have done that.
I think so. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think
well,
so.
Maybe it's also like a different way of doing it. It's like they gave me the vial and I accepted that I was going to pour the vial into the ashes. So maybe it's like if you kill him first and you don't take the vial, then you get the option. But if you take the vial, you don't get the option just to destroy it. You have to do one or the other. It's really interesting. It was a kind of a gutting one, and I think that this is now... Quentin is currently grappling with this thing where he was so into Blood Mage, and then Medallion swung so far into like that I'm way over my head, I can't do this. This is a ridiculous thing. It's like I'm a child playing with gods now. This is silly. And then tried to be really is trying to be really noble, and I think now this is tempering him to being like, I've got to just do what I need to do.
Yeah.
Other people, I can't trust other people to be like me and pick the noble option, because I was correct before, because they fucked me over and everything I was doing was to spite them. And then I tried to understand and join them, and now it's like, no, I was right. It's like I can do both. I can not be doing stuff in spite and also understand that people are going to try to fuck me over.
Wow. Man.
And that's what he's battling with at the minute. This was really good. Really liked Haven so much. It was such a breath of fresh air for when I realized that they are not blood mages and they are just a weird dragon cult. Way more fun to me than them being all up in blood magic, because at this point in the game, I'm a bit sick of it. Because it's like, I get it.
Everybody.
Blood magic
Everybody's
is bad.
a blood
Stop
mage.
it.
Yeah. That's
and it's like,
every
that
bad
was
guy's
the
a blood
end
mage,
of every story. And I was like, all right, I'm fucking bored of that now.
Yeah,
give me something
they
fresh.
think Andraste's been reincarnated into a dragon, and that they will awaken her as long as they destroy her ashes, her one tether to humanity. Amazing.
I may have mixed the blood in with the ashes if they didn't, if they gave me a convincing, because they didn't convince me that this was Andraste. They did because they were talking such hype, and I was like, oh, maybe. And then I took the vial of dragon blood to pour in, because I was like, maybe this is Andraste. Maybe this is just kind of how it goes. And, it's weird. It's God stuff. Who can really ever understand that? I've just dealt with a werewolf curse that made someone be 400 years old or whatever. That's crazy. But then he does stuff that seems like he's just out of his mind. And I was like, oh, me pouring the blood isn't going to do anything, though. So maybe I just
it does destroy the urn.
It destroys the urn, yes, but it's like, if I was convinced that I would do it, walk outside and that dragon would be like, thank you, my child. I am Andraste reborn. I'd be like, oh, sick. This owns. Yeah, I'm going to do that then. But I wasn't convinced that would happen.
Oh, yeah, because it would not. Because they're wrong.
Kind of convince you that they're just cults. Yeah.
Yeah. That's just a dragon. They're worshipping just a regular ass dragon. Yeah.
Which is cool and fun, but also, I've seen dragons be Flemeth. I don't know how this shit works. It's like, there is more reasonable doubt. There was more reasonable doubt, because I've seen a human turn into a dragon, that it's like, maybe this is her, and she doesn't know how to be a human yet.
Yeah. And you can choose to just be like, I believe you. I believe that's...
But also, it's like...
Andraste.
I felt like for a character who I'm playing as very intelligent, that wasn't it's like I just reasoned out no, this isn't.
Yeah,
I appreciate what you're trying to do, cult, but you're wrong, and I'm smarter than you. So
that makes sense for Quentin. Yeah.
But it's great. Really liked this chapter.
Me too.
The forest is still the best part of the game, but
for sure,
the
is
fights in this bit were really good.
They're juicy.
I had a bunch of fights where I was like, shit, man, this is hard.
Yeah.
I had the Overseer, which was really tough. Or every time a Drake turned up in a fight, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, this guy again. This guy is like the hardest, like, elite character that they have, because they use so many knockdown attacks, and for someone who has a long time casting spells, I'm like, oh my god,
I know.
Like, stop, for fuck's sake.
The knockdowns are hard. They're a hard time.
Brutal. Yeah. Then the dragon, the high dragon was awesome, so fun.
Yeah.
I loved that fight. Thought the gauntlet was pretty fun, but it was like the puzzle was fine. I liked it, but it was also, it got me frustrated a little bit. The firewall puzzle I thought was pointless, because the only option I had was to take my clothes off and walk through the fire, and then I did. And then I got all my shit back, and I was like, so what was the point in me doing that?
I am wondering if I misremember this, but I think
What's up? What do you think of it?
I felt like there was like a trick to that puzzle that maybe I am misremembering, but I also got the same thing this time, and I truly did think that there was like more to it, but I might be making that up.
Okay.
Because I didn't get anything. I also just had, it was like, oh, take your clothes off and walk through. Oh, okay, obviously.
Yeah, and then you just kind of do it, and I was like, what was the challenge in that?
Yeah.
I didn't, like, even if it's like in universe, I get it. Like, yeah, that's a interesting thing in universe, but give me 2 more options. Give me a chance to fail
or like
this, because
something that makes this a tough decision or something. Yeah. No, I guess it is just
like,
that.
I guess it's like they can't let you walk through with no armor and then chuck an enemy at you, because what if you brought all, like, warriors? Then you're fucked because you don't have anything. But mages can still get.
You get all of your armor back immediately at the.
But that's what I mean. It's like that's the trade-off.
Yeah,
it's like there wasn't any challenge to that puzzle.
It's not really a part of the puzzle.
It's not a puzzle because you have one option. You say yes, and then you walk through fire and you get all your shit back.
Yeah. The thing about the fighting yourself part of it is an interesting one, because I think that on harder levels, this is a little bit more mechanically interesting. The one where you're all fighting like different reflections of the party. Because everyone is resistant to the same things. Yeah. So like on easy or like on casual, that doesn't really matter, because you, the player, like are able to just like succeed on way more stuff. But when it's like more even with the computer, like they're also resistant to all of your damage, and so then like you have to use alternate things to like take them out as a group.
Sure.
So that one can be more interesting.
That's cool. That's interesting.
Harder.
Then after Haven, I went to camp.
Yep.
I had I spoke to Alistair. He said that we have a time limit as Grey Wardens of 30 years, and then we're just out. And Duncan thought that he was going to die. He like started having the big nightmares and was
nightmares,
right, I'm going to turn. Yeah. So I'm going to go out in a blaze of glory, baby. I'm going to find a bunch of Darkspawn. I'm just going to... Oh, I mean, it's Ostagar. It's the Battle of Ostagar. He was like, I'm just going to fucking kill them all. And then had Nightmare. Yeah. And then a bunch of shades turned up at camp.
Yes, I got that too. He got attacked.
And they started attacking me, and I had to fucking fight in my own camp. And then everyone was like, "It's not safe here anymore." Oh my god! Things are getting dangerous. They can sense us now. Like, they're coming for us
because
specifically.
We can sense the Darkspawn. The Darkspawn can sense us because we're Grey Wardens of experience now.
So they are hard coming to murder us. And that was awesome. That was great.
That's cool.
Really cool. Interesting stakes. I was pretty scared by it. I was like, oh my god, does this mean that occasionally at camp I'm going to have to fight? So I thought that was fun. Spoke to Liliana. Oh, I did speak to Liliana, and she was like, hey. Oh, no, my apologies. I was going to Denerim. Then I got jumped by a whole bunch of people. And then Liliana was like, oh, that was my old my old bard, person
Marjolaine.
sent those people. Marjolaine sent them to kill me. Oof. And I was like, fascinating. That's huge. I picked up Alistair at camp. So I was back to basics. I was Liliana, Morrigan, Alistair. Nope, I'm lying. I didn't take Morrigan this time. I took Sten. So I was Sten, Morrigan. Sten,
that's a fun
Liliana,
one, I think.
Alistair. Yeah. And then after I did that, because then I intimidated this guy, and he was like, "Oh, well, she's in Denerim, and that's where this thing is." And I was like, "Oh, huge." Got to Denerim. Alistair was then like, hey, this is weird. My sister's in town. I'd love to see her. And I was like, damn, everyone wants shit from me nowadays.
Oh, so you didn't meet Alistair's sister yet?
No, you met Alistair's sister.
I did.
I hadn't done that.
Okay.
I just got that option now. So then and then I also went to the Chantry in Denerim. And I gave some Tevinter scrolls to this one woman. And she was like, holy shit, I'm going to translate these now. Gave me a lot of money. I was like, thank you. I met the brother again, the guy from Haven, and he was like, oh, I'm going to give you something really good, and then give me a shitty rune. I almost killed him right there if I could have. I was mad about that. I hate runes in this game. I hate them. Immediately just threw it to the side. If you're gonna talk to me about giving me something really cool for letting you live, it better be something sick, like a cool sword.
Put the rune on your sword and make the sword cool.
No, I gave the rune to the mages so then they can live better. All of my shit is going to the mages. 100%. I'm going to make sure they are all living at the end.
Yeah.
I did that. Gave the Drake scale to the armorer, and he said come back in a few days. I tried to give him the dragon scale, and he said I can't work with this yet. I don't know how to do this. So I was like, all right, fine, take the Drake scale. So he told me to come back in a few days. I met up with Alistair's sister. I wanted to give her money. Didn't give me the option. I thought that was mean. Because she was like, oh, yeah, feed my kids. And I was like, oh, I'd like to. But, because, yeah, you're in a bad situation. But then I just spoke to her. And then there was a persuasion check to be like, be nicer to Alistair. And I did that. And then we left. And I was like, oh. And I couldn't go back inside the building. I really wanted to give her like a fuckload of money, but I couldn't. And I felt bad about that.
Yeah.
But now they're going to reconnect. She feels bad about it. Then I went to go meet Liliana's old boss.
Yeah.
And then I killed a lot of her guards. And then she tried to convince me that Liliana was actually the villain. And I was like, all right. Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure thing, buddy. Sure thing.
I believe that.
Yeah,
not.
So I killed her. Then Liliana feels dreadful about it. She's like, oh my god, I can't believe she died by my hand. Because I was egging Liliana on a little bit, because I was like, okay, yes, I could side with her and then fight you, Liliana. That's obviously not going to happen. Yes, we could keep her alive and be like, work for us. She's never going to do that. She's a master manipulator. If we let her live, she might work with us until the end of the Blight, and then will just try to kill us for the rest of time. Like, there's no point. I was like, Liliana, just like, she's going to hunt you down for the rest of your life. If you are on good terms for like a year, she's going to kill you in the middle of the night. Like, she wants you dead. She's a bad... From everything you've told me about her, from speaking to her now, she's already tried to assassinate you. Once an assassinator, always an assassinator. Kill this woman. So then we did.
Yeah. She gave Liliana up and threw her under the bus, like, and Liliana was tortured.
Yeah.
And didn't give Marjolaine up throughout all of that. But we decided to let Marjolaine live, not work with her. She was told never to contact us or Liliana again.
Okay. That's going to be exciting because Liliana's in all of these games, right? I imagine that comes up eventually.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
That's going to be a really fun divergence of paths.
Yeah.
And you know what? I mean, it might be it might be an accidental fun character thing that Quentin just let this one random guy live, and then immediately was like, because hey, the ramifications of this guy dying, the ramifications of this guy living are going to be really bad. But I mean, I guess we're gonna have to do it. And then immediately, as soon as this other woman turned up, and it's like, no, fuck it, kill her. It's just not worth it. Keeping people alive is just keeping people alive when you know that they should be dead, and giving them a chance to turn over a new leaf. It's not worth it.
No, not at all.
Get her dead. Killed her. Then went back to camp. This is my last note. Morrigan came up to me and was like, She was like, I feel so weird. And I hate it. And I was like, why do you feel weird? She's like, I feel anxious around you all the time. Like, I want you to be happy. I'm so reliant on you constantly, and I feel so bad about it. Like, this isn't normal. And I was like, that just means that you're, like, in love with me, and you like me so much. And she's like, what? This is bad, then. This is stupid. Like, you shouldn't be reliant on me, and I shouldn't be reliant on you. This is gonna fuck our whole thing up. And I was like, hun, it's fine. Just feel through it. This chick wants me so bad, it makes her look fucking stupid.
It does actually make her look stupid. Oh my god.
And I was like, what a good, I love this romance. It's so good. Because she so pushes you hard away. And this is exactly the same as Lae'zel from Baldur's Gate 3.
It is.
When she's like, I don't want to be with you. I just want to sleep with you, and that's it. And then she's like, I don't know why I'm feeling so good about you right now. This sucks.
Hate that. Yeah, hate that I feel that way.
And it's fun as well because you know, Wynn was like, because Morgan kept being like, I'm not interested in you. It's ridiculous to think so. And then Wynn was like, she's going to betray you. And then Morgan comes up to you and is like, I think I'm fucking in love with you, dude. I've never felt like this before. And I'm like, this is crazy. They are playing off of each other, you know, in a way that's so fun. So yeah, I told Morgan that I love her too. And then she was like, that's stupid. I don't know why. I'm going to let you down. She literally said the term, I'm not like other girls, which I laughed at. And she was like, I'm going to let you down. And I was like, if you let me down, you let me down. But let's just play it by ear, babe. Well, it's just my words, not the Grey Warden's. The Grey Warden was like, it's fine. I love you too, blah, blah, blah. It's great. And then I ended off with Morrigan just being absolutely over the moon obsessed with me.
I think it just goes to show that the first of the Maker's children walked across the veil and grew jealous of the life they could not feel.
Exactly the same thing. I was saying that.
Touch in blackest envy. They were demons born.
I was saying that exact shit.
You're
it's crazy, actually.
2-1. Yeah.
So, next episode is fun for us, you and me, Dillin. There's a big con coming up. Travel starts on Wednesday. We normally record on Wednesday, and it's fucking Ozma. It's the Deep Roads.
It's fucking the Deep Roads.
Oh my god! No! I'm so sorry. We can't finish because Earl Aemon. I helped him as well.
Oh,
did you do that?
Obviously, yes, of course.
What did you do about Jowin?
Yeah, I said I need you to stop with your finger.
Wiggling my finger?
I don't like the way that it's moving. It's not natural. Wow. Yeah, I convinced the Arl to free to deliver him to the circle. That's it.
I did this. I asked him to be fully freed, and then he was like, "No, I'm not going to do that. I'll send him to the circle." Though I was like, "All right, fine."
Yeah. So,
and then he says that he's going to make a lands meet happen. But first, he needs all the people of Ozma.
Yep. So we're gonna do Orzammar. We're gonna have we have to speed run Orzammar, which is
we
terrifying.
have to speed run Orzammar, which is, I think, the biggest part of the game that we're gonna do so far.
I think so.
It's
all
of
the hardest part.
all of Orzammar, it's all of the politics, and then it's all of the deep roads, and then finishing out the politics, and then it's gonna be a lot. And we have 5 days to do it.
Hell yeah.
I work 4 of these 5 days.
Yeah, same. Yeah, it's going to be really fun. And then we've got to record. I can't wait.
And then we got to record, yeah.
Oh, God. Well. Hang on.
We have questions.
Quick questions. Let me go through. There's not that many, but let me just tell you what they are. Did you giggle like a child when everyone has to get naked? Yeah, when people are naked in Dragon Age, it's always funny. Because
skimpy little pants.
The giant hands caressing your stiff boobs. And then Meadow has...
Oh my god, Wynn had to get naked for me because Wynn was in my party.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, dude. Oh, it's also very funny because Shale is exactly the same but had no crystals, and I was like, come on, hun. You don't have to be naked. I thought you're fine.
How would you rank the bridge puzzle in terms of most least annoying puzzles in the game? We did go over that it is of now in the base game, it's the only puzzle.
But the other one we did is the slide puzzle.
Kitty's puzzle, yeah.
Which is the slide puzzle is worse, less frustrating.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Yeah.
It's like, as I was doing the bridge puzzle, I was like, damn, this is a good idea and almost a really well crafted puzzle.
Almost really well crafted.
But
yeah.
It got to the point where I was just getting frustrated with it. Admittedly, I got frustrated with the slide puzzle, but I wasn't like, frustrated. I was like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Frustrated.
Yeah. Do you think your character would have secretly taken a pinch of the ashes to keep for themselves just in case? Valeria, no. That's Andrastian's shit. She's not messing with that. It's not anything to her.
That's a good question. I think that Quentin would have also left it, but left it in like a defeated way.
Yeah,
has already told it, and it's like, what am I gonna do with it? Like, there's nothing I could do with this.
No.
So yeah, would have actually went to camp, spoken to Alice, and Alice was like, yeah, we have like 30 years, and I think then Quentin was like, maybe I go fucking get Andraste's ashes.
Yeah.
To try and heal me of this 30-year thing. I don't want to die.
Maybe we
should
not just be okay with that. Maybe we should not accept that. Yeah. But there's nothing to heal.
But mind you, in 20 years, he's going to look like Wynn, and it's like, then what's the point of even being alive?
You should be looking like Wynn a lot sooner than 20 years.
He's like 29. She's like 29. She's like 49.
Yeah, she's 49.
Yeah.
Wild.
Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I would not.
Anything else?
No.
Is that it? You blasted through those?
Yeah. That's it.
Do you have any closing thoughts? I did a lot of talking today, and I hate that. I just have a lot to say. I had a lot of fun in Haven.
Haven's great. I need to do some rounds after. But really, like, I think I'm excited to go to the deep roads, and I'm excited to maybe go to Denerim, and I think I am feeling really fucking jazzed about the end of this game. That's all.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
We're 3 episodes from the end, but I've accidentally done one of the 2 episodes. So
I know. Stop reminding me of that.
The penultimate. Well, because the penultimate episode for me is I'm just going to do everything I physically can, except for like start the final battle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because there's one place which is like the snowy mountains bordering Orlais, and I don't know what that marker is. I don't know if it's a DLC thing or it's like a main mission. So I'm staying away from it for now, but as soon as it's like, okay, do everything except the lands.
Mountains?
Yeah.
That's the passage that leads you to Orzammar.
Oh, is it? Oh,
it's just a passageway. Yeah.
Ah, it's a good thing I've been keeping away from it then. Love that.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is Sten's weapon? Because I was sure that that's where Sten's weapon was.
Haven.
It is?
Well, okay. No. Okay. You find... So, there's a whole quest line to get Sten's sword.
Yeah.
One, you have to unlock it with him. He has to tell you...
I've done that. He's told me about it. I have it in my
And
thing.
he told you that he sold it to a guy down at the docks that go to the Mage Tower.
Oh, okay.
Then you meet that guy. He's going to tell you who he sold it to. You're going to go to the Frostback Mountains.
This is what's frustrating to me. I can't speak to Sten about it, and the journal does not tell me what next to go to, like where next to pitch to. It's just like, yeah, he lost his sword, go find it. And I'm like, where do I find it though? So that's good.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go back.
You'll find it.
I'll find it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be good.
All right.
Until our next episode, Grey Wardens, we're getting to the end. Please stay strong. And remember, in war, victory. In peace, vigilance. Yeah, good job.
Thank you. Oh, what a game.